Hello, this is Northstar back with another practice tarot reading. And it's super windy, so we are not attempting any particular spread in any ways. We're in the mood to just intuit. So I'm shuffling, but I'm also listening for other messages that come through, such as wind messages, which are a thing, which we will outline when we get to it. We have many projects to which we attend. Alright. If you want to see a lot of our stuff, some of it's on Facebook because that's our workshop. So we literally use it as a workshop. So you'll see scraps of all kinds of stuff all over, but there's cool stuff there too. Sneak peeks into what we're building and creating. So the card that came out so far is the Three of Swords. And there's a photo of Dave's stuff, which is hilarious because we often post a Dave, I can't do that Dave, Space Odyssey meme about the distorted logos bias. And like, obviously we can't just use one part of our mind. But anyway, heartache, trauma, and sorrow. So someone's going through it, is what it looks like. Someone's going through it. Is it you? Is it someone in your life? Is it me? Is it all of the above? In reverse, this card says overcoming grief, closure, and forgiveness. So we're going to take it in the upright, but if that's the case, you need to pull a Three of Swords in reverse. And if you're somewhat stuck and need some tips on how to do shadow work, if it's some deep stuff about patterns, and check us out on Facebook, also on YouTube. So anyway, that's the Three of Swords coming out. I'm just going to be quiet for a moment on purpose, because I'm listening for messages as well as I'm shuffling this practice deck with tarot card connotations scrolled on the cards. I'm hearing that something about frustration in communication. Like, somebody wants to communicate, but it's like they feel like they don't know how. So I don't know what that's all about. If they're trying to communicate and people are misconstruing them, either accidentally or on purpose, or a combination thereof. Or if there's some kind of way of communicating that they think they're supposed to be doing that they're not doing, and then they're just in their head about it. You or somebody else. The other card that came out is the Ace of Swords. So we've got the Three of Swords and the Ace of Swords, and this is breakthrough ideas, realizing the truth. So this is the Epiphany card, looks like. In reverse, misinformation, wrong decision. So there's the miscommunication, lack of focus. Right. So if we're scattered, and especially if our mind is, being efficient and getting things done in the world is important, but if that's what we're doing and we're never doing any solitary reflection or much of it, if our reflection is just rumination or something, right, then it can be super frustrating. So that could have been what was coming through. And then the misinformation here. So anyways, looks like somebody is out of that. They got some great ideas, breakthrough ideas. They realized some kind of truths or awarenesses, if you don't want to use the word truth. And the other card that came out there was in reverse, the Star in reverse. Let me tell you something, we're familiar with the connotations of this archetype. Lol. So, in reverse, well, first of all, when it's not, they have faith, renewal, and healing. There is so much more to the star than that. So, either I'll include a description of the star, or you could just look it up, right? Anyways, it came out in reverse. We've got hopelessness, boredom, which could just be stuck, uninspired. So yeah, here we are, right? If we're only doing superficial action and we're not looking within, over here, sorry, right? And we don't know how to communicate, it's because we don't know how to communicate with ourself. So you have to go into the deeper self to do that. So that could be where that person's at. Don't know. But if they overcome and they have overcome this situation or state of being, and they've got a big breakthrough, that's literally what the star is in the upright. That's part of it, right? So emerging and finding the more authentic aspects of self, and our earnest, like, pure motivations, like, yeah, and it can get into direct connection with God, being, right, super aware, we're super aware of it, something like that. So there's lots of different connotations to the star, but this is the star in reverse, and we've got hopelessness here, which of course is basically the same thing as despair. And despair, the vice energy of despair, is to be avoided at all costs, because it lets in all the other vice energies to take over and tank your energy. And then you're going to be, air quotes, depressed, which is the opposite of expression, which is why this has got about communication coming through here. That's what it is, right? Anyway, it's an oversimplification, but that's what's coming through. So it's like, you know, it's about being honest with the self, even if without the judgments that the reason why things get repressed in large part is judgment. So it's like we internalize those judgments. So that's where the rumination is getting in the way of, if it's a problem with rumination, or a problem of with this whole heartache, trauma, sorrow being stuck there. It's like you have to be your own parent, right? It's like you have to be the one to console yourself, and your responsibility for owning your shortcomings is between you and God, right? Which is a direct line, by the way. So although we might not be religious, it's literally like praying, right? To commune with what I would call the deeper self and the deeper power. People are always talking about higher self, right? And that just gets really weird, because then you're talking about, it's almost like you want to go somewhere. Where are you going? Right? That's the whole thing, right? It's like, that's a very physicalist view. It's a very, in terms of physical reductionism, it's like that we're going to be going somewhere physically or whatever, right? When it's in the mind. So no, you don't want to be stuck in your head, but that's not the same thing as using all your mind, right? Don't let people discourage you from doing that. And we can only really affect what we're unconsciously perpetuating, right? Using not logic. Like, logic is subordinate to the intuition, active imagination, and emotionality, the emotional processing, emotional intelligence, emotional transmutation. That has to inform the reasoning, right? Not the other. I mean, it's something that's a bias in our society, which is why one of the main reasons things are super warped and messed up. So that seems to be pointing me back to this Three of Swords, because it's the warped way in which we're deliberating the ideas in our mind that it's keeping us stuck in the Three of Swords there. So by revamping the entire thinking process, you can land at Ace of Swords and you can get this star in the upright. This has been a message from Northstar. Hopefully it makes sense to you. And remember that tarot readings and intuitive readings are not any substitute for professional advice. Over and out.